Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chai with Rai, a life and culture podcast diving into the mindset and the business of being a creative. I am your host, Rai, and each week I bring you a guest or a fruitful message from the creative industry, all while sipping and spilling some hot garam chai. Now, if you haven't done so, make sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. If you love this podcast and are listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, or wherever you are streaming this podcast from, if you could do me a kind favor and make sure to rate the podcast, comment and share it on your stories and social and spread the word. It organically grows the show and connects us with listeners who haven't tuned in before, and overall, as I always say, it just shares the love. Also, if you haven't done so already, you can now become a patron, aka a supporter of Chai with Rai, by signing up on Patreon for £5, or as I love saying it in this accent, $5.50. Each month your subscription will help support the show, but also get you exclusive things such as a 24-hour link to the unedited, unfiltered video version of the show before it goes live on all podcast streaming platforms, shout out in the show of your comments and of yourself, exclusive opt-ins to any of the guest projects. I'll put the link for the Patreon channel in the description of the episode, so make sure to check that out. And as we take a break from our full-length episode, I wanted to bring some snippets from previous episodes I enjoy. This specific snippet is from my conversation with filmmaker and actor Dr.Parvinder Shergill, diving into the mindset of being a creative, especially if you are someone who, like me, creates work beyond their role as a performer, and in the process questions, how do we deal with the mindset of rejection, collaboration, our ego, our vanity, this metric of success and perfection we have set, comparison to our peers, privilege, and overall our creative voice. That is a lot of ground to cover, and I would say if you enjoyed this snippet, check out the full episode. I will link in the bio/description the link to the full episode with Parvinder. But as of now, let's warm up our cuppers and let's dive right in.
Yeah, I mean, I've had to learn this on my own, and I wish people gave me advice. I'm always happy to share it. So but again, what I say is not Bible. Do you know what I mean? So I would say my first advice is collaborate. I'm a big collaborator. I don't have an ego about it. I love working with people all the time. I think, why would you not? You can't do things alone as a creative. So that's what I did for the first year and a half. Because professionally, if I look at it, been doing this for 3 years, right? So for the first year and a half, I collaborated. I wrote a play. I said to my friend, do you want to be in it? She was like, yep. I was like, right, let's just do it. That was it. And then we got the ticket sales for the play, and that covered the cost of renting the thing. So I don't need to worry about that. Love Bug, again, it was nothing. It didn't cost anything. I said to my friends, you free this day, let's film it. You've got a camera, or you've got sound, or you've got this, we've got my flat, I'll cook, donezo. I don't get stressed about it. And for me, it's fun. I think you have to find the fun in this. You can't always think, right, this project, I've got to get it to this platform, it's got to go to Netflix. You can't think like that. Make it for the fun of making it. That's why you're creative. I think we get so bogged down thinking, I've got to get this and this. You're creative because you love the process of it. My first feature, exactly the same. I was like, right, I have no money, let's just get friends. I got friends, and then we needed a bit of money, and all I did, I don't think it was anything special, I literally just messaged loads of people, and I put a post out. I was like, does anyone want to give me a little bit of money and you come on board as a producer with me, and you'll be on set? It's like, and I didn't need lots of money. It was just a couple of hundred just to cover people's like bits and bobs. Another film, I collaborated with someone, we crowdfunded. I've only ever crowdfunded one film. I don't like that process of it. I don't like that process.
Yeah.
But anyway, we did that for that. The other feature, like I said, someone commissioned me, they asked me to make it. It was a very small budget. I never take a fee on these projects. Like, I just do it for what needs to be rented or whatever. And then last year, coming to the other side of the year and a half, I wanted to move on to more professional stuff. That one with 12, we were like, right, like, we need a budget for this, because we had BAFTA crew and we had named actors and stuff. And then we just did the slog, and I don't know if there's an easy equation. All I did was literally, I emailed every organization I could think of that was connected with a script like eating disorder, and I said, do you want to help us fund? And we just kept doing that until someone said yes, and that was it. And I don't know if there's another solution for that. With Core, it was exactly the same process. and we had people that wanted to give me the money, but they wanted to take the control. And I said, no, this is my film. Creatively, I've got to keep my control. And then I kept going until I found someone that said yes. So I didn't do any special. I've never done a grant. I've never done an application form. I don't have time for that in life. Like, no offense. I work in the NHS. Like, you know what I mean? I think an email is really easy. You literally just ping an email, ping, 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 ping. I can do like 10 in an hour. It's not hard. Application form. Who's got time to write it like 3-hour application form? I don't.
Listen.
And do you know my biggest thing is, you will always find someone.
Yeah.
Someone will want to collaborate with you. Someone will be there, and ask. I'm working at NHS. I ask for help all the time at work. So I do it in film. Like, don't have an ego about it. Ask someone, hey mate, you've got a camera. Can you come on and do it for free? Like, just ask people. I don't know why people don't do that. And just honestly reach out. I always help people, you know, if I can, I will always do it.
But do you know what it is? Like, as you're saying this, I'm self-reflecting, because I think in a conversation, sometimes to bring points, you self-reflect. And I was even listening to this in your podcast where you were, which kind of triggered me. And I was like, no, it is life or death. You were like,
I know what you're talking about.
You were like, creative. It like, if I make a film and if it doesn't do good, it's not like I work for the NHS. Like I have real life. And I was like, it is life or death. it is like so much a part of me. And I was like, if like let's say I get a free videographer and then the quality of the work isn't good, or like I can't edit it to a point where I'm sure you would see this, like with the audio, or I wanted to shoot that specific angle, or like,
but you got to let it go. Daddy Blues, right? I cringe at it all the time because the edit's not good, the sound is awful, but then I think, you know what, hey, I did it, right? People can criticize and complain, and you can be perfectionists, I know we are, but like, move on. You develop and you develop.
It's hard. It's really hard. And then, as you're saying, the email thing, there's a lot of rejection that comes your way, and I'm just like, bloody hell, my oh my, do we deal with like stupid things that, you're right, if you put it into perspective,
put it in perspective. Do you know what I mean? This is the thing. I get it as well. I get it as a creative. It is like your soul, you know, it's like your diary. People are like all over it. But then I step back and I think, what is really important is your health. You have food on the table, and I am simplifying it, but I do then step back in my NHS world and I think, my God, these are real life problems. If it is really a problem that my edit's a bit bad on a film, God, life's good. You know what I mean?
May I interject in saying that, which you can challenge me on, which was going to be the next point, that you have the NHS, right? So you have a different perspective for some people, and you also talk about how during COVID, you were going to take some time out to just focus on the arts, but there was something within you that said, no, give it more time, and then your contract extended. If I always feel like this when people, like lawyers who become full-time choreographers or dancers or like actors and things like that, that have had I don't know, I don't want to use, and I don't want to deteriorate from the hustle or people's journey, but sometimes when people have had that path and then they come into the creative industry, it's almost, maybe I'm bitter, maybe I am, I'll admit to it, but then there's almost like you haven't had to like literally grovel sometimes as a freelancer.
I disagree. So I've wanted to be an actor. You have to remember, it's not that I went into medicine first. I've wanted to be an actor since I was 3. So I have worked towards this since I was 3 years old. I've had to become a doctor. I've had to get degrees in order for men in the room to take me as a woman, a brown woman, seriously. Otherwise, I wouldn't have any money. No, but I see what you're saying, and I'm not disagreeing with it. I get it. For me, it's very weird. I grovel all the time as a creative, okay? But the thing is, and I agree with what you're saying, because I have another job and it whatever it is, if it was in a restaurant, if it was in a lawyer's assistant, whatever it is, you need some sort of stability, and you need to, whatever it is for you as a person, okay? But you need to objectively step back. And for me, don't you think I feel weird as a doctor? I run A&E and I have to grovel to get a film fund. Yeah, I'm running A&E and saving lives. Of course, that's really weird for me, but I get it. I have to start from scratch. Like, for me, it's really weird. I've had to start as a runner. I've had to start as this, and I'm still doing a lot of stuff for free. But unfortunately, and it shouldn't be the case, that is what happens as a creative, because our work depends on other people seeing it. And it's
so hateful. It needs to change.
It needs to change. And this is why I wish, you know, if look, I really want one day when I make it, I want to incorporate like HR, safeguarding. I want things there for people, easy access, because it shouldn't feel like a weird mystery world that you have to know someone to get in. And you know what I mean? There should be like, it should be clear path, just like any other job. And it's not, and it's really difficult. And it feels like this weird fog and you're trying to find your way. Like
Yeah.
it's a weird thing.
Well, everyone, that brings us to the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed that. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe so you never miss out. And don't forget to rate and comment on whichever platform you're listening this episode on. You can also become a patron and a supporter of the show by subscribing for as small as £5, or as I love saying, $5.50 on Patreon. I will put the information of the artist on the episode and any of the links in the description of this episode, so make sure to check that out. But as of now, I will leave you as I always do. Breathe in and breathe out. Now must go, which means now I must go. That is copyrighted and I will sue. Until next time, stay curious.